all, this is Pavitra Shanmugasundaram here. Today we are going to talk about our interesting topic, that is subject verb agreement in English grammar. So there are a number of rules to be followed when it comes to subject verb agreement. So let us see one by one. Okay, the first rule is subjects and verbs must agree in number. So what is number here? So it denotes that whether the subject is singular or plural. So if the subject is singular, we'll be using singular verb. If the subject is plural, we'll be using plural verb. For example, so there is a sentence, cow eats. In this sentence, the cow is singular, eats is also a singular. So here we are using eat plus yes form. Why? Because it is third person singular. So this is what the first rule, and let us see the second rule. So the second rule is we should not get confused by the words that come between the subject and verb. So only the subject and verb must be agree in number. So here is the example. The detective who was called to the case is usually very good. Here the subject is the detective and the verb is. So there is a phrase in between that, who was called to the case. So we do not get confused by those phrases. Why? Because this the rule is for subject and verb. And the third rule is prepositional phrases between the subject and verb usually do not affect the agreement. I repeat, so when there is a prepositional phrases between subject and verb, it does not affect the agreements. For example, the biker in this race is very competitive. Here the subject is biker and the verb is. So in between those, in this race placed, so it doesn't affect the subject and verb. In the second sentence, the bikers, which is plural, in this race we are using are there. Why? Because the subject is plural. So clearly we can come to know that there is a agreement between subject and verb. And the fourth rule is, if a sentence starts with there or here, the subject will always be placed. So for example, if we are using there or here words, so we'll be using the the verb after the words, after those words. There is a meeting today. Here is a verb and meeting is a subject. So here meeting, the subject comes after the verb. So that is a fourth rule. Here are the results from this past. This is a one more example for the rule. And the fifth rule is, subjects can come after the verb in questions. If there is a question, means the subject will always come after the verb. So let us see the example. Does Betty always play with dolls? Here you can clearly see that first we are placing the verb, does, right? And after that verb only the subject will be placed. Yeah. And then the second example, how are the Bosco sticks today? So the same can be applied here. And okay, if two subjects are joined by and, so we already know that and is a conjunction, right? So if the two subjects are joined by and, we typically require a plural verb to be placed there. For example, the puppy and the lady are friends. So here two different subjects, right? So that's why we are using are there. And yeah. And the seventh rule is, if two subjects are separated by and. So the sixth rule is nothing but if two subjects are joined by and. The seventh rule is, if two subjects are separated by and, refer to the same thing, the verb is. Okay. So yeah. So if the what I want to say is, if the two subjects are referring to same thing, means we'll be using is, singular verb there. Spaghetti and meatballs is my favorite pasta dish. So the both subjects are referring to the pasta dish, so that we are using is there. And let us see the eighth rule of subject verb agreement. If both subjects are singular and connected by or, nor, neither, nor, either, or, and not only but also, we must use the verb is. So, singular form of the verb. Let us see the example. Sally or Booba has stolen the scarecrow. What is that? Sally or Booba has stolen the scarecrow. Why? Because here we are using the correlative conjunctions are, nor, neither, nor, either, or, and all those things, right? I repeat, if both subject are singular, okay? Here Sally is singular subject and Booba is also a singular subject. That's why we have used has there. Okay. And the second sentence, not only but also sentence, right? Not only the guitar player but also the drummer was soaked with sweat. Now you get an idea, right? Yeah. And let me change the slide. Okay, so the ninth rule is if both subjects are plural and connected by words like are, nor, neither, nor, either, or, like correlative conjunctions, the verb is plural. Okay, if both subject are singular means we'll be using singular verb. If both subject are plural means we'll be using plural verb when it is connected by these are all the conjunctions. Okay, so let us see the example. Cookies or brownies are nice treats for your teacher. Here cookies is a plural subject and brownies also a plural subject. That's why we are using are there. Okay, the 10th rule is nothing but if one subject is singular and one plural and are connected by the same correlative conjunctions either or, neither nor, not only but also, use the subject that is nearest the verb, right? So here we can see the examples. Either my sisters or my mom has sent me a present. Why we have used has here because the nearest what we have given already, the nearest subject to the verb is singular, so that's why we have used has there. And not only verb but also the Smiths want some hamburgers for supper. Here we are using want. Why? Because Smiths is a plural subject, so that's why we have used plural verb. Okay, so I hope you find this video useful. So let us see the remaining 10 rules in the next video. So until then, bye from Pavitra Shanmugasundaram. Stay tuned. Thank you.